Hi and welcome to E-ZTutoring. Today we're going to cover how to solve exponential equations. The method we're going to use today is the change of base method, where we get the same base on both sides and set the exponents equal to each other. If you're looking for the natural log method, you will have to check out my other video. So suppose we have 3 to the 2n plus 1 equals 81. And we need to solve for n. So the way to go about this is to get the base, which is this number and this number, to get them to be the same. Now the reason we want to do that is because then we will be able to set the exponents equal to each other. So you usually want to go from the big number down to the small number. You don't want to go from 3 to 81. You want to go from 81 to 3. So we have to write 81 in terms of 3. So 81 equals something with 3 to a power. Well, how many times does 3 go into 81? Or does it even go into 81? Well, if we do 3 times 3, that gives us 9, times 3, that gives us 27 so far. So this is 27 times 3. 27 times 3 gives us 81. So 81 is equal to 3 to the power of 4. Okay, so we just wrote 81 in terms of 3. So that means if I go back here, I can change this to 3 to the power of 4. And this equation is still the same as before. We just rewrote 81. So now that we did that, this equation now says 3 to a power is equal to 3 to a power. The only way that could possibly be true is if these exponents are equal, because they are on the same exact base. So the exponents have to be equal. So since the exponents have to be equal, then we can set the exponents equal to each other. 2n plus 1 equals 4. And now this becomes very simple algebra. So in order to solve for n, we must subtract the 1 on both sides, get that 2n equals 3, divide by 2 on each side, and we get that n equals 3/2. And of course you can check your answer if you'd like. You can plug it in over here and you will see that it will work and this will equal 81. Okay, let's go ahead and do another example. Okay, so now suppose that we have 1/9 to the power of m equals 81 to the power of m plus 4. So this is a lot different, huh? A lot different than the last one. We have a fraction and then we have an m plus 4 on the 81. So the first thing you should do is really get rid of that fraction, because fractions are not fun to work with. Now, how do we get rid of a fraction with an exponent? Well, let me go over a simple rule here. X to the power of -1 is equal to 1 over x to the power of +1. Whenever you flip your variable or your number, your exponent turns from positive to negative or negative to positive. If we have x to the +1 and we flip it, we get 1 over x to the -1. This is a very, very important rule to know. So back to this problem. Now we have an idea of how to flip 1/9. We know that if we simply put a negative on the exponent, then we can flip 1/9. So if we were to flip 1/9, then we get 9/1, which is simply 9. And all we have to do is put a negative on the exponent. So we put a negative but we also have the m, so we get negative m. So these two right here are in fact equal. They are the same exact thing. So this is equal to 81 to the power of m plus 4. So this becomes a lot easier to work with now, and we can do it just like the last problem, where we just do the change of base method. So now we just need to go from 81 to 9. We need to rewrite 81 in terms of 9. So we do know that 9 does go into 81. And if we multiply it out twice, we can see that 9 times 9 is 81. So 81 is in fact equal to 9 squared. So now that we know that, we can replace this 81 with 9 squared. And of course, 81 did have a power of m plus 4 on it. Then over here, we have 9 to the negative m. So what do we do with this 2 now? Another rule is whenever you have an exponent on an exponent, you need to multiply those exponents. So we have 9 to the power of 2 times m plus 4. Let's go ahead and do that right over here. 2 times m plus 4. All you do is distribute the 2, and you get 2m plus 8. So we have 2m plus 8. Okay, so now we have the same base on each side. So 9 to a power is equal to 9 to a power. Therefore, the powers must be equal to each other. So now, once again, this becomes simple algebra. So I will go ahead and do this simple algebra right over here. Negative m equals 2m plus 8. So in order to solve for m, we should move this m onto that side, or the other way, doesn't matter. Plus m, 0 equals 3m plus 8. Now we need to get rid of the 8, so we subtract 8. Negative 8 equals 3m. And if you want to solve for m, you simply divide by 3, and you will get that m equals negative 8 over 3. And then once again, you can check your answer by simply taking this and plugging it in over here, and it will work. So, gave you guys 2 good examples on using the change of base method to solve exponential equations. Hope I helped. And for SAT and ACT help, be sure to check out my website, www.E-ZTutoring.com. Thank you, and I wish you guys the best of luck.